This is a community-supported legal education channel. Find out how you can support our mission at the links in the description below. So, as someone who was not previously aware of what SCP is, it's a little difficult to understand in just a few seconds. It's kind of a very deep creative writing project. It's like a crowdsourced community writing project, and not crowdsourced by one organization or something, but rather it's a sort of grassroots sort of community created crowdsourced creative writing project. Is that about right?
Yeah. So the SCP Foundation is sort of this fictional underground, like secret Illuminati type organization that works to contain threats to humanity.
Okay.
SCP stands for Special Containment Procedures, and they have facilities all over the world and on other planets, and basically they classify and contain threats that they find, essentially.
Okay, and it seems to have kind of a dark or creepy or thriller or maybe even a little bit of a horror like background to it. Like their threats to humanity, the SCPs themselves seem to be written in a way that makes people want to read more, kind of like a thriller. Am I getting that?
Yeah, for some of the most popular ones, they're like horrors or thrillers. But there's also like entire swaths of the website that are dedicated to kind of funny ones as well. So
okay, so there are funny, humorous ones as well.
Yeah.
Here is SCP-3737 Rainbow Bridge, Object Class Safe. The Foundation has purchased land that contains 3737-1. Various signs have been posted around the area declaring it federal property. Trespassers are subject to local law. A proposal to allow personnel to visit during reunion events is being reviewed. SCP-3737-2 is a dog.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's really nice, honestly. The website is one of those things that you start reading it and then you realize how much effort went into it by a large amount of people, and you're like, wow, I have a lot of faith in humanity now because this is crazy.
They say the SCP Wiki is a collaborative urban fantasy writing website about the fictional SCP Foundation. So the SCP Foundation itself is part of the fiction, a secretive organization that contains anomalous or supernatural items and entities away from the eyes of the public. The bulk of the content is in various SCP series, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Foundation tales and canons. They have links to history, in-universe information, how to contribute to the SCP Wiki itself. But then we have something going on here that is threatening this massive creative writing project, which, I mean, this is remarkable. This is a really awesome crowdsourced, community created writing effort here. And then someone appears to have come along and made legal claims to it, sort of like trying to pillage the crowdsourced nature of it, extract value out of it for one person when instead it's supposed to be a community thing, right?
Yeah, so this guy, what was his name?
Andre Duxon.
Andre Duxon. It's hard to say for me. He's appeared to have filed trademark claims in Russia, abusing the lax sort of protocols over in the Russian trademark office.
Yeah.
He also is making copyright claims, I think, on the website. I think it was because he was offered like some kind of a deal with the series. I mean, there's a statement on the O5 Command website.
And it says, as of today, Andre openly states that he has registered the trademark to SCP in, and I'm going to add this, in the Eurasian trademark system, or the Eurasian Intellectual Property Agreement or Union, which is what parts of Russia and Belarus and a few other places, Kazakhstan, not like an international trademark, but rather a trademark within that area. And he says he's registered the trademark to make big budget films and video games based on the SCP Foundation. And it looks like he's tried to trademark starting about 6 or 7 months ago. In the summer of 2019 was when his trademark was finally granted, Which is a bit weird, because this is, if anybody had searched for the SCP Foundation and all that, they would see that it's not any one person's efforts here. Let's see. Yeah, here's a trademark certificate. It looks like maybe in the edit, Brandon, you can cut this out and rotate it. But it looks like this is some kind of literal trademark on SCP Foundation number 661748. And that's really weird, because I'm seeing here that the Foundation and its intellectual property are governed by the Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike license. And I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity to spread awareness, link to their GoFundMe for the legal fight, and we could take a look at what a Creative Commons license is as well. So the Creative Commons is a copyright license, and this is very important that we get this terminology right, because it is a license. It is not a copyright. It is a license for otherwise copyrighted material, and it purports to grant a specific kind of right, or a specific kind of grant of rights to people who use the license properly. Creative Commons licenses have many important features. Each license helps creators, which are licensors, retain copyright while allowing others to copy, distribute, and make use of their work, at least non-commercially. Every Creative Commons license ensures licensors get credit for their work, and around the world, they last as long as applicable copyright laws, and the common features serve as a baseline. There are different licenses, so we have to look up what kind of license is being granted. This one is the CC-BY-SA, which is the Attribution and Share-alike license. This license lets others remix, adapt, and build upon your work. So Leonard French could contribute an SCP item object to the SCP Foundation's wiki, and I would retain the copyright, but I grant this license automatically. This license lets others remix, adapt, and build upon, in my hypothetical, my work, even for commercial purposes, as long as they credit me and license their new creations under identical terms. So derivative works must be licensed under identical terms. This license is often compared to copyleft, which is kind of a snarky way. I think the Free Software Foundation had called it copyleft free and open source software licenses. All new works based on yours must carry the same license, so any derivatives will also allow commercial use. This is a license used by Wikipedia, for example, and it is recommended for materials that would benefit from incorporating content from Wikipedia and similar licensed projects. This is exactly the license that Lawful Masses uses when we take content from Wikipedia, and we'll literally show you that it's Wikipedia by showing Wikipedia's logo and everything, and that's our version of participating in the license as well, is by attributing Wikipedia. We also use Wikimedia and other, like Flickr has the ability to let people assign a Creative Commons license to some of the photos and things. So we'll use some of those, and then we'll put a link in the description back to the author and their Flickr page. The important point I want to make is this is a license. This is a contract. This is a license that covers copyright, but it is not copyright infringement when you use the items under the license. It is instead a contract that is applying. So if you had to go to court over it, you would very likely be going to court over a contract dispute or contract violation, even though the contract is a license for an underlying copyrighted work. Now, trademark covers marks when they are used in commerce. So it seems to me there should be no problem showing some Eurasian trademark body or authority that this SCP Foundation trademark existed long before the trademarking by Andrei Duxin. However, it's Russia, and we know, at least from the American perspective, and maybe a little bit from the European perspective, that Russia has some issues with either corruption or maybe weird laws or something like that. So we really have to look into how did Andrei get this trademark. And that's not something Leonard French can do, because Leonard French does not speak Russian, read Russian, and it will take me a long time. So this video is more of a public service announcement that they have this issue going on. So it looks like they've raised $124,000 so far, which is really nice. I have no idea how much it's going to cost to oppose. Now, the trademark's already been granted, so at this point, there has to be some kind of a lawsuit for the breach of contract and for the registering of the trademark. So for the we would call it a cancellation action to get the trademark canceled. I have no idea how this works in Russia, and so raising money for it is really the first thing to do. So it seems like he's obtained the trademark in Russia, then used it to obtain either ownership or control of the Russian branch or Russian wiki of the SCP project, which is absolutely disgusting, especially if he really has no actual claim that he's been the owner of SCP all along. It would be one thing if Andrei Duksin had owned and used SCP in his commercial business for years and years and years that predates 2008 for the creation of the SCP project, but it really appears that he doesn't. And assuming that he doesn't, then this should be an open and shut case. But Russia. So we have to get a Russian attorney or an attorney who is able to represent and read and understand Russian and understand what's going on here. And here at Lawful Masses, we'll look into whether we have anything to offer more. But this is more of a public service announcement that this project is being threatened. If this trademark is allowed to stand, then this claimant, possibly illegal claimant, will have a lot of material apparently under their own control and ownership, material that was created by others and should be under this Creative Commons license. So this trademark is very much in violation of the Creative Commons license. And the only way I could see it being a good thing was if someone had obtained the trademark on behalf of the community and is explicitly using the trademark to benefit the community as a whole and not allowing non-SCP project contributors to obtain control. But it appears to be the exact opposite. It appears to be a grab, a power grab, kind of a, break the window, grab what you can, obtain control of the SCP project, and then, I don't know, monetize it from there, which he's unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, everyone is allowed to monetize this project, it looks like, as everything is Creative Commons with attribution and share alike. So what you could do is you could create an entire movie or TV show or book or something, and then you could sell it, but you would also have to offer your book or your movie or whatever under the Creative Commons share alike license. That doesn't necessarily mean that you could just willy-nilly copy everyone's movie, does it? It means that if you create something based on it, you have to give attribution and your creation has to be released under the same thing. So this is a really terrible power grab here. So we're going to make a link to the SCP legal fund, and hopefully they've raised enough money either already or as they need to. I'm sure they'll put out updates. There might even be an update already. A huge thank you to Markiplier. And the original application to the Russian Federal Anti-Monopoly Service took a while to be processed. The holidays caused a delay, which is why it's been a couple months since our last update. We're currently submitting legal documents to the Federal Anti-Monopoly Service, including affidavits and community founders. Do we know what's happening to the excess funds? Who gets to keep these funds? Let's see. The funds raised will be used to engage Sviatoslav, I'm sorry, I'm butchering that, Chusov of the Hour of Justice firm as the legal representative of Dmitry Zeltin, the administrator of SCP-RU and the representative of SCP in Russia, for the duration of the lawsuit. They will also be used to pay the fees for the creation of formal legal position in the case, the drafting of a statement of claim, the filing fee for the lawsuit, the fee for gathering case materials, and full representation and accompaniment during trial. Finally, they will be used to obtain expert witnesses related to the technical or cultural facts. In the event that any money raised in this fundraiser remains following the conclusion of the lawsuit, it will be held in an account specifically earmarked for collective legal defense of SCP Foundation branches. So that seems like they're going to have a legal fund for defending the SCP Foundation from this attack, as well as for future defense, which they should be doing. They should probably use some of this money, if any is left over, to obtain trademarks on behalf of the Foundation so that this can't really happen again. And they should be obtaining that around the world. This is a thing that happens. I remember when I registered a trademark for one of my projects, I got several emails from firms in China that said, "Oh, we'd love to register your trademark for you in China. Just let us know," et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I before I responded to any of those, I contacted a trademark attorney here in the States who said, "Oh, don't hire them. What they'll do is they'll turn around, register your trademark in their name, and then try to sell it to you for many thousands of dollars more than it would cost to actually register it." So it was a scam as well. So yeah, you got to watch out for some of these foreign organizations. Russia seems to be experiencing a level of corruption that we don't necessarily know in Western world. China is the same thing. So be careful about those things. The way to do it when you have an organization this large is to be proactive and make sure you've registered these marks and you've registered the intellectual property as much as possible around the world so that these things don't happen.
Yeah, I've been reading SCP for a long time. It's been around since 2008. There's a lot of precedent for them being the owners of the trademark. So it's, I don't think they're going to have a hard time fighting it as long as they get the money and they get enough money to fight it. It's really hard not to listen to the facts here. There's a lot of proof that they've been around for a long time, and he hasn't necessarily been involved in it either the entire time. So
what I'm not seeing covered here is just outright copying. Okay, you are free to copy and redistribute in any material or any medium. You are free to adapt, remix, transform, etc. But you must give appropriate credit, and any remix, transform, or build upon the material, in other words, a derivative work, must be the same license as the original. So what I think, if I understand Andre Duxon's position here, just based on the circumstances, I'm not speaking for him, but if I understand what his position would be, it's that he wants to make copies and remixes and derivatives and all that without having the attribution and share alike terms apply to him. In other words, having a trademark would give you the exclusive right to do things that these licenses say you can't do. So if he did that successfully and nobody challenged him, then he gets to profit from everybody's work and exclude anybody's work that he doesn't like, because it would become his exclusive property based on the trademark. So it has to be fought. Trademarks are one of those things where if you don't fight it, you lose it. So the Foundation, what are we calling the actual Foundation as opposed to the fictional Foundation?
I don't think there's a distinction between the two.
Okay, so the non-fictional SCP Foundation or project needs to enforce its trademarks. Unlike copyrights, you don't lose your copyrights if you fail to enforce them, but you do lose your trademark at some point. Not instantly, but you do lose your trademark at some point if you fail to enforce it. So you have to fight it. This has to be fought. There is no question or doubt. If this is not fought, then Andre Duxon will continue to have the ability, if not the underlying right, but it will have the apparent right, or the rights in name only. He'll have the right to continue to make claims and pillage the SCP project. It seems like he's already obtained the Russian wing of the SCP project through a trademark claim to one of the website hosts or domain name hosts or something. So now is the time to file lawsuits and get things moving. So if you have the ability to contribute to this project, please do.